Hello viewers, welcome back to Cars with Ben, and in today's video we're going to be going over 5 JDM wagons that are my top 5 favourites, and ones that are rare, ones that are common, and just generally going over some of the performance, reliability and some of the awesome wagons that you can buy on the market. Just a disclaimer, this isn't my footage, but I have credited everyone, so like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump straight into the video. Kicking off with the first place is the Lexus IS300. Or, in the American market, is the Toyota Altezza. Now, I've gone for this one because it is fundamentally still a wagon, and I've always had a bit of a thing for the IS200. I do really like these cars, but I've never particularly liked the IS300. So, built from 2003 to 2005, the IS300 came as a sport cross, and had this strange sort of looking version, and I've never particularly liked it, but it is a Lexus, it is cool, and these cars are very affordable now. You could probably pick one up for as low as £2,000. I've actually seen one for maybe £1,500. So again, an awesome JDM wagon that you can start to use as a project, as you'll see in this next video, and why I absolutely love these things. They come with that 2-litre, 6-speed transmission, typical foundations of the IS200, but they did change for the Toyota models. And what's great about it is you can drift it, you can use it as a family car, you could use it as a show car, depending on the build. I think it really depends on how you make this thing, but because it's a wagon, it has to be included in my top 5 options, just because of its affordability and the fact it's a Lexus. It is very cool. What's great about these as well is they're also really common, so buying parts is not an issue. Jumping in at number 2 is the Subaru Legacy, and probably the favourite for me on this list. I've gone for the Legacy because I've always adored its generations. Now I'm of course talking about the Legacy and not the Outback, which are 2 different cars, but have very similar foundations. The Legacy goes from Gen 1 to 5, and currently is in its new model year, but I'm mainly focused on 2, 3 and 4. I just love the colours, of course, being blue in Subaru, and straight away you notice there is that wagon look, which you didn't get on the Altezza or the IS300, so you can pack a lot more into it. The customizability as well of this car is epic, and for that reason it has to be, included on that list. For me, the wheels, the body kits, the lights, the stance of the car is something that you just don't get the look of in other cars. Yes, you could do it to the IS300, but for me, this is why it's my favourite. Prices for a Legacy are actually relatively expensive depending on what age and mileage you go for. But I would say if you want to buy one of these, you're probably looking at about 5k, because depending on high mileage, probably a bit higher mileage with that. But they can be, the newer ones obviously being 20, 25 for brand new. The Gen 1 ones, as I'll show you in a minute, probably around 2 or 3 grand, just because they haven't been as popular as the Gen 3 and 4. I absolutely love these because they come with a boxer engine, which of course is well known for its low centre of gravity and its just ability to carry on going. But reliability in Subarus is generally not excellent, so that is something to bear in mind. And another thing as well is that the wheels absolutely suit this car in any form, as we've seen with these rotiforms here. This particular model and footage, the owner has done an absolutely excellent job, so credit to him. And showing you the older gen versions, this particular Legacy GT, it sounds epic as standard, so here you go. Coming in at number 3 is the Evo Lancer. Now, the Mitsubishi Evo Lancer, I'm not talking about this particular UK version that came out. I am very much sticking with the Evolution, because that one is pretty much not what you want to look for. So, of course, being the Evo, it is rare, and prices for these could be anywhere from 15 to 20k, just because of its rarity and the fact it's an Evolution, which of course gets more attention. The Evolution is obviously well known for its sedan 4-door version, and we all love that one. But what's great about the 4 is that it's a luggage lugger, so obviously it carries a lot more stuff, and you can take the family. It's actually based from a Volvo-esque rear end, and it's quite chunky and square if you look at it. Now it comes with that standard same turbocharged 2-litre engine, which debuted in the saloon, and it has that sophisticated MIVEC variable valve timing. So the whole car is practically the same. Again, with most of these wagons, they do have the same frame and car. And if you get a good version like this one, looks excellent. You could do bits to it, give it some gold wheels, give it a nice body kit. And don't forget as well, this car has a standard of 276 horsepower, and that's before you've done any tweaks. Sometimes you could make it, could get it up to 300, 400 if you were able to max the engine. I think that's an excellent thing. That's what it's all about with JDM wagons, and again, makes the list. It has to be awesome, especially with such a clean look. As well, this is probably one of the fastest 0-60s on here for the wagons, and that's what we like to see in a JDM wagon. Of course, price being very expensive and the rarity, you are unlikely to see one of these, especially in its Evo form. So just bear that in mind if you are looking for one of these in the UK right now, as the Evo is already a rare car in the saloon version. But it is nonetheless an awesome JDM wagon and has to make the list. Moving on to a very rare one that you may not have heard of, the Toyota Crown. The Toyota Crown is, of course, a Toyota, so we know it's going to be reliable, and you may never have heard of it, you may never have seen it, and you might never see one. The Toyota Crown has been around and only been made for the Japanese and Asian markets, but specifically has sold very well in the Japanese market. It's been going since 1955, and the car, of course, being a Toyota, has to be, and only for the Japanese market, has to be imported. But it has become very popular in the UK, it's become very popular in the US and Australian markets, where the car is considered a bit of a JDM legend. And because it's Toyota, you know it's going to go well. Just looking at this next clip, you'll see why it's such a customizable vehicle. It is a massive sleeper because it's so huge, but it packs such a punch. As you can see in here, it is very much customized with the body kits, and some of them even come with, a lot of them might even come with an awesome curtain. So it is just a very Japanese feel. And it's just been very popular with the government in Japan and as police cars. So they're very reliable. I wouldn't want to comment on price. Moving into number 5, the Nissan Skyline or the Stagea. Okay, so this one is actually a bit of a weird one. It's two cars blended into one. Kicking off with the Skyline, of course, being a very popular car, it was, of course, made into an estate. The Skyline is known as the Stagea as well in Japan and across the world because it shares a lot of the same platforms as the Stagea. What they did was, of course, the most popular being the Skyline. They took it and made it, obviously being from the Stagea, and it just became a very popular wagon. Now, this is probably the most expensive on here, so don't think this is probably a very easy find. But you can obviously opt for looking for a Stagea, but also very, very same foundations. Performance-wise, it's got that twin-cam turbocharged engine, so it is very awesome in its speed and performance. I think what's great about this car is that it is, other than the front bonnet, you can see the same vehicle. And of course, Stageas have been very much in their generations. They've gone from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and a very popular model. Again, very much strict to the Japanese domestic market, making it a very awesome JDM wagon, and only available there. So again, a rare car. The last two cars here have been very rare, so I really want to specifically go on that. And you're very unlikely to see one, especially in the UK. I mean, no one really, unless you import it, would drive one of these, just because they aren't sold here. And particularly in the US, where Skylines are banned, I believe, a difficult car to find. However, I think one of my favourites. Let me know what you guys think, which one you would pick. For me, it would be the Legacy, just based on affordability and usability. But if you have enjoyed this video, give a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next video for more JDM goodness, more car content. And with that being said, I hope you have an epic day. I will see you soon. This has been 5 JDM Wagons.